Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's session. My name is Jo. Nice to have you here. Welcome. Do say hello in the comments. Say hello, what's your name? And always interested to see where you're joining us from today. Do let us know in the comments. Good morning. Hi, Elizabeth, Uju. Hi, Darshana. Good morning or good afternoon. Do let us know where you are today. Hello. Hi. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay, so we've got some people joining us from all over the place. We've got the UK, from Ghana, Swaziland, amazing Pakistan. Fantastic. Great. All right. So, what we'll be doing today, okay, we've got Abu Dhabi and Zambia as well. Hi. Hello. Great. And let me know, are you a nurse or are you a doctor? Always keen to find out as well. Great. So, just while you're saying hello in the comments, just to let you know, we do have subscriptions available now to our courses. So, do go and check them out. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen there. Um, and I've got the link in the chat now as well. So please do go and check us out. We've got 1 month and 3 month subscriptions packages available, and you can do that individual self-study or in combination with a tutor. So we've got that for nursing, and we've also got it for medicine as well. So do go and check us out. The platform is interactive. We've got reading, listening, writing, speaking, as well as grammar, skills, and practice tests. So you have guided practice in the skills, you have vocabulary and grammar, access to our video tutorial library, 4 live lessons a week with a teacher, and 3 full practice tests. So do go and check us out. QR code is on the screen now. Okay, we have that for doctors and nurses as well. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got loads. We're always putting videos on there. So that's OET SLC. Okay, and at the moment we've got we've got our new season coming up in the new year, and we've got our recent one, which has this video, Beat the Distractors in OET Listening. As well, you can go to our website. We have lots of free activities in our website as well. So links in the chat now in the comments. Okay, so moving to today, we are going to look at how to give advice effectively in the role play. We'll look at language for giving advice. When should you give advice? And how can you give advice? The tips to follow. All right. So first of all, we're going to look at language for giving advice. So I'd like you to let me know in the chat, what phrases do you know for giving advice? Let me know. Okay. Some comments coming through now. Mhm. Okay, so phrases for giving advice. Mm, good ideas. Yeah, great. So there's varying degrees here. It's important versus it's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Great. So you know lots. That's great. Um, there are different levels of advice from suggestion to strong advice. So I see some of you have put both of those in there. So, for example, a suggestion, it would be better, or maybe it would be helpful. Uh-huh. Advice, try to do this, you should do this. And then we've got strong advice, it's vital that it's important that you. Great. Great ideas, everyone. So there are lots of phrases that you can use for giving advice. Here are just some of them. Okay, we've got lots here on the screen now. Okay, so let's look at suggestion. So we know we've got the levels suggestion, advice, and strong advice. Which three phrases can you use for suggestions? Let me know in the comments. What numbers? What would you use for suggestions? Mm, okay. Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah, good ideas. Yeah, so the three that I've chosen as I suggest it would be better to have you thought about. I think maybe I recommend that it's a good idea to. You could maybe argue that that's a suggestion or advice. Suggestions is like, you could do this if you want to, whereas advice is you should do this, and strong advice is it's essential, you have to do this. So that's sort of the differences in between. Great. So if you want more practice, do check out our course. Why not subscribe to our course? It's got loads more language of giving advice, like the ones we just seen on the screen. So in the OET speaking section for both doctors and nurses, we've got here a whole section on giving information, giving, suggesting, and advising. So it's really, really great. Do check it out. It includes lots of categorizing different types, like you can see on the screen here. You also listen to a nurse and a patient, or a doctor and a patient, listening to the advice they give as well. So do check it out. So let's do a bit of practice. I've got here 4 sentences. How would you complete these sentences? Let me know the number letter combinations in the comments, please. All right. Mm-hmm. I think A and C could be a little bit similar. So, yeah, there's probably a couple of possibilities, but B and D can only go one spot. Okay, great job. Just think about number 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Great, everyone. Clap, clap, clap. All right, so let's have a look. So, number 1, it's important not to let the ice pack touch your skin or you may burn your skin. It's a good idea to put your foot on a pillow, or you could say try here. But for me, number 3 sounds a bit more better. Try to do your ankle exercises every day. It just sounds better, whereas number 2 is more of like a suggestion. You can if you want to. And I know it's difficult to remember, but it's essential that you put moisturizing cream on several times a day. So great work, everyone. So there are some mistakes that people commonly make in OET speaking with advice. I've got 4 sentences on the screen here. Can you spot the error in each sentence? Let me know your ideas in the chat. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. You're noticing the 2. Yes, Berenice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, good, Mustafa. Yeah, advise, not advice. Great. Okay, so let's have a little look together. Mm, so yes, the mistake in number 1 is you're using here the noun instead of the verb. So it's I advise you to, not advice. Advice is the noun, advise is the verb. I recommend you to do more exercise. No, it's us. I recommend that you do more exercise, or you could use recommend followed by the ing form. So I recommend doing more exercise. It's vital that you to use the cream 3 times a day. It's vital that you use, no to. And then the last one, you had better, is kind of threatening. It's like you had better do this or else. It's like sounds like a threat. So a better phrase to use would be it would be better to, or it's better to. Yeah, or I would recommend you to. Absolutely. Yes, but you had better. It's a bit threatening. So let's look at when do you need to give advice. So let me know in the chat. What might you give advice about in the OET speaking exam? What kind of aspects of a patient's care might you give advice about? Let me know. hmm It's one of the most common tasks that you would get in the role play card, giving advice. Usually, most role cards have some sort of suggesting, advising, something like that. All right, great ideas, everybody. We've got Yeah, diet, lifestyle modifications in general. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, yeah, medication. So it could be like, for example, how to take the medication. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, the most common ones are lifestyle changes, treatment, disease conditions. Okay, yes, Ruth. So how to manage a condition, for example. All right, let's look. So lifestyle changes is very common. Diet, exercise, smoking, alcohol, etc. Yes. How to manage a condition, skincare for eczema, inhalers for asthma, etc. Post discharge treatment, care, um, changing dressings, how to take medication, for example. Okay, yeah, change in treatment as well. Yeah, Abraham, great. And avoiding. So, avoiding falls, avoiding flare ups, avoiding infection. So, you might give advice on how to do this. Great. So use the information that's provided on the roll card. You don't have to invent the advice. They'll often give it for you. So, for example, here's an example: make recommendations for self care, go to quiet space, visualize something peaceful, practice healthy habits. Advise them to attend the community health center, weekly visit, exercises for relaxation and breathing. So they've given you the information here. All you need to do is add the language. Yeah, it's a good idea to go to a quiet space. You could try visualizing something peaceful, and it's important that you practice healthy habits. For example, try to rest. It's better that you eat well and try to get enough sleep. So that's all you need to do is use the language and explain it in an appropriate way. And that's what we're going to look at now: how to give advice and the steps to follow. So, you need to make sure you give advice that the patient needs. So, you should ask questions first. For example, if the roll card says give advice on lifestyle changes, you should find out about their current habits first. So, what questions could you ask? Let me know in the chat to find out about diet and exercise. What questions could you ask to find out? Let me know. Mm. So we're finding out about their current habits first. Mm. Mm. Great. Great questions. Yeah, most common one, could you tell me about your diet? How often do you exercise? Something like that. Great ideas. Yeah. And then based on the information they provide, you can then give advice tailored to the patient, because there's no point saying you need to eat lots of fruit and vegetables if they already eat lots of fruit and vegetables. Yeah. So you need to give them appropriate advice. So, this is where you're relating your explanations to elicited ideas. All right. And if they don't do any, if they're resistant, you might ask them why, and then you can help them with something manageable. So you need to give them appropriate advice. So first, signpost the change in topic and announce what you're about to say. So let me explain how you can manage your wound at home, or there are some things you can do to reduce the risk of having another fall, or let me explain let me explain some ways that you could improve your diet, for example. And then explain the advice, excuse me, using linking expressions and what we call the rule of three. The rule of three is no more than three pieces of information in one chunk before you pause, check, and then move on. And when you finish giving advice, you need to check that they understand, agree to follow the advice. So, what could you say to check that they will follow your advice? Okay, just having a look through more of your comments just while you're letting me know your ideas. Yeah, I mean, the most common one is, could you tell me a bit about your diet? Could you tell me a bit about your exercise? Your preferred diet pattern, not so appropriate, or something about your daily diet and routine exercise. What kind of diet are you following? That's okay. Um, but you want to know specifics. So yeah, tell me about your diet, how much exercise, or what exercise do you do? Yes. And then to check, see what's coming through here now. Hmm. I mean, obviously, it depends what kind of advice you're giving and what you're saying. But you might say something like, do you think you can manage that? hmm Once you've given the advice. Or how do you feel about that? hmm hmm I wouldn't just say, is it understandable? Am I understandable to you? No, it's not really appropriate. What you want to do is to get them to say yes. Yeah. Do you think so? Are you okay with that? How do you feel about that? Um, do you think you can manage that? Yeah. Or do you have any questions about that? Rather than, am I clear? Am I understandable? It's not so appropriate. Yeah. It will be, do you have any questions about that? How do you feel? Do you think you can do that? Yeah. And is that okay with you? Yes. Is there any confusion? Not so appropriate? No. Do you think you can do that? Yes. What's your opinion about that? It's okay. A bit formal, Lindsay, so perhaps better to say, how do you feel about that? Mhm. Or would you be willing to try that? Right. So, how to give advice? These are the steps. So, step one, find out information. Step two, signpost you're going to give some advice. Step three, explain your advice. And step four, pause and confirm, encourage the patient to respond. So let's look, and this is what we call chunking and checking. So let's look at how that looks in a conversation. So, could you tell me what you know about managing eczema? I don't really have any idea and I'm a bit worried. That's completely understandable. Let me explain how you can look after your son's skin at home. Okay, thanks. Firstly, it's really important to keep his skin moisturized. One thing which might help is making sure he's not too hot and not too cold, okay? Also, it's a good idea to dress him in loose cotton clothing so that the skin can breathe. Do you think you can manage that? So here you've got a very clear explanation in chunks with lots of clear linking expressions. And as we know, sometimes patients are reluctant to follow your advice, or maybe if it's a sensitive topic or they're really worried about something, we have to follow the right strategies. So it could be, for example, you recommend exercise and they say, oh, I don't have time or I don't like it. So, what could you say if somebody says no? Let me know your ideas in the comments. Mm, So you say, "Oh no, I can't do any exercise. I don't have time." Or, "Oh no, 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 I really don't like doing exercise. No, I'm not going to do that." What could you say? Mm. Okay, so some good ideas coming through here. So finding out why, perhaps. So exploring these concerns or this reluctance. Yes, absolutely. Uh-huh. Or yes, absolutely. So showing some empathy and then stressing the importance. Yeah, I think those are two very good strategies. So one would be find out why specifically, or explore it. And then the other strategy would be empathize with that, but then stress that it's really important. So, for example, here, I understand you are busy, but it's really important that you at least do some exercise each week. Do you think you could start by walking 10 minutes after work? So, empathy, stress the importance, and then suggest something manageable. Okay. So, before we continue and do a little bit more practice, I just want to remind you that we've got subscription packages available for our Reach OETB courses for nurses and medicine. They're really great courses. Here are some of our testimonials on the screen now. So, please do check it out. I've put the link in the chat and we will now do a little bit of practice of giving advice. Let's have a look. So I've got some situations. A patient should cut down or give up on smoking. And there's a parent who's caring for a child with eczema and needs to use unperfumed soap. What advice could you give to these people? Let me know in the comments. Mm. Okay, great ideas. Mm. Okay, here are some examples. It's a good idea to cut down gradually. Have you thought about joining a quit smoking program to help? So many of you suggesting cutting down. Mm-hmm. Mm. Great ideas, everyone. And for the second one, it's better to use unperfumed soaps if you have a skin condition like eczema. It will help reduce itchiness. So explaining how it might help. Okie dokie. So last little activity here. I've got some pairs of sentences here. In each pair, one is appropriate, one is not. I would like you to let me know the letter of which is more appropriate. Let me know. Mm, great. Okay. Yeah. So for the first pair of sentences, be is better. Must is too direct. Number two, A is better. Um, it's just explaining the facts rather than sort of being quite direct. And for number three, as you're all saying, B is more appropriate. That's right. Yes. Again, remember that had better, not so appropriate. So make sure your advice is not judgmental and does not sound threatening. Okay. So, how can you practice? Well, build up a bank of useful phrases and write example sentences in different contexts. For example, here, think about different things that you'd give advice around and just practice doing little chunks of giving advice. Okay, you can, there's so many things that you could give advice about. We thought about some at the beginning of this session, so why not practice doing that? Giving advice about diet, smoking, exercise, how to look after a wound, things like that. Uh, Practice it, record yourself, and analyze how well you did. We actually have a system for this on our Reach OETB course. So you can actually practice giving advice about the need for a blood test here as an example. So you've got what the patient says, and then what you do is you record your advice and then you read what the patient says next and then you record your response and you can download or replay it so you can listen, analyze your pronunciation, how well you did. So it's a really great innovative activity. So you actually have a role play um, with the computer, so to speak. So do go and check it out. Great. So my top tips for giving advice: use the information provided on the roll card. Use appropriate phrases, so not threatening, not judgmental. Um, use signposting and linking, as we said. And check they're willing to comply. So do you think you could manage that? Is that something you could try? How do you feel about that? So please do let me know if you have any questions. I've got a quick minute to answer a couple of questions about OET speaking. Please do let me know in the comments. Don't forget to check out our website so you can subscribe for just 1 week or just 1 month or 3 months, up to you, in combination with the teacher. QR codes there. And don't forget to follow us on all the usual social media. Okie dokie. So, any questions, do let me know in the comments. Mhm. Yeah, we've got lots of videos on reading C and listening C. If you go to our playlists on SLC OET SLC, sorry, go to the listening playlist and the reading playlist, and you'll find loads of tips and strategies videos there. Okay. Did you tried any home remedies? Is it okay? Nia Nitha, I would say, have you tried anything at home? For example, home remedies could be, you want to find out what they've tried. So just say, have you tried uh, anything to reduce your symptoms at home, for example? Question from Baby Jovi: is it okay if there's a few fillers? Absolutely. So appropriate hesitation is fine. So things like uh-huh, well, but what it can't be is evidence of you searching for words. Yeah. How to introduce myself in an emergency setting? Should I inquire about the patient's name? You don't need to. You can just invent a name. Why don't you ask them in the preparation time? Then you could just say, okay, Joe, I understand you've been in an accident. I'm sorry to hear that, but don't worry, we're here to help you. Something like that. Or just invent a name. Yeah, but I don't think you need to, in an emergency situation, you would say, hello, I'm the nurse or doctor on duty. What's your name? How may I address you? No, you don't do it. You've got to start the role play appropriately. Absolutely. So, yes, absolutely, Elizabeth Uju. It is appropriate to ask the interlocutor their name before starting the role play. Absolutely. Clara, in the exam, the role play is not given back to the interlocutor until you finish the role play. So you have it with you during the role play. You can use a pencil, underline things, and make a couple of notes if you want. Okay, so that's really good. Writing, can we use pencil or pen? You can use either. Is it necessary to tell our name or not? Usually it's appropriate, yes, to introduce yourself. Um, hi, I'm Joe, the nurse on duty today, for example. All right. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's session. We'll be back in September with another live lesson, but in the meantime, do check us out on YouTube, subscribe to our channels, and follow us on all the usuals, and go to our website. We've got lots of tips and strategies on there as well, and of course our course. So anyone taking the exam soon, good luck. Wishing you all the best, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.